Hey guys, this is Kirob speaking, and today we are in the release version 1.0 of the Cyclist tactics. Yes, finally after 2.5 years of work, it is all done. 2.5 years, 2.5 developers. One game. Yes, that's how it went. And not what we are going to do with this is, of course, start our full playthrough of career mode. The very goal of this career mode will be to win the Tour of Gasmea. And yes, that means yellow jersey. And that race, of course, is only available to pro teams. Which means that we first have to work our way up to Pro League. And that will be quite the ride. Many an episode are to come. But in order for you, who maybe don't know the game yet, to help you get on board, what I'm going to do is make a little segment now at the start, which goes through the core game mechanics, and I will place timestamps below so that those of you who are very much aware of those game mechanics can just skip over that. So after that, everyone will be on board, and we can get cracking with the theory crafting for what kind of rider we make, to then start into career mode. Alright, I've also put down below in the description the link to our Discord server, the Cyclist Tactics Discord server, as well as, of course, the Steam store page, which has a demo version, of course, free demo version, which you can give a try if you want to. With that all being said, now let me show you some of those basic game mechanics. There is not that much you need to know about the game in order to be able to have an anchor and try to follow along from there in the nuances of what is happening. The game world, or each stage, is set up in terms of nodes. These are places that riders can move to. Each one of these nodes has a big number value inside of it, which here is 10, 9, and 11, as you can see. That is the number of free movement points that your rider gets for the next turn after landing on one of these. For instance, here we start from a node that has a value of 10. That means on this turn, where we're moving, we're going to have 10 free movement points. Those movement points are for free. We don't have to pay anything for them. But we can start to use energy. That's the main resource of a rider. You can start to use energy to move faster. 1 energy per additional node moved. That has a limit though for each turn, and that is energy per turn. If we want to move even farther than this, then we need to start using attack points, which also are used to surprise people who are in front of you while doing the attack. Of course, anyone behind you can still follow that. And to just ride faster in general. So that also has a limit per turn, and whenever you use this limit to the maximum, it will go down for that stage by 1. So if I make a full attack move to here, using 7/5 of my resources, that's energy and attack, then my limit would go down a little. And of course, I need to make sure that I pass the line. Well, there's no line in this tutorial. I pass the line first. That's the goal. And the gameplay is turn-based, completely turn-based. So a turn is, if I choose to move there, that is exactly 1 turn I've used to move from here to there. Now I need to quickly touch on the different types of terrain and traits, rider traits, because this is also a little bit of an RPG. Each rider has a set of traits at the start. Especially novice riders have basically 0 in everything. And this is currently just not 0 because this rider is on a time trial bike. And these traits are being applied to a move across the terrain that you're moving. So in this case, for instance, we have a +1 in flat riding, the flat trait. These are your traits. And that means that whenever I'm passing just flat nodes, flat terrain, I will get a +1 bonus applied. As soon as that move includes a move across a node that is not flat, this bonus does not apply. So this is illustrated here. This is was my starting node. this was my end node, and all nodes between those two are being considered for what traits to use. There can be different terrain types in between, and the bonus that is being used, or the penalty that is being used, is the lowest of all of them. There are very much different terrain types in this, and we're going to get to some of the special ones very shortly. But you see that flat terrain has around 10 movement points, mountain terrain has around 4 movement points, 4 or 5 movement points. It can go down all the way to 2, and then downhill sections have around 13, 14 movement points for free. So now we are moving along here, and for instance for this move, if I had any bonuses and traits, I would have to have plus in mountain as well as downhill. You see here, this is the downhill section, this is a mountain section. I would have to have a bonus in both, and the smaller one would be chosen for what bonus actually applies for this move. And I'm paying a little bit of energy, and now we get to special terrain cards. These terrain characteristics, flat, rough, cobble section right there, they are stacking on top of that terrain. And this is what technical sections are and cobble sections are. And the cobble and trait modifiers are being used on top of that there. These sections apply a penalty which you can offset with your traits. And the impact, the cumulative impact you see down here, it is quite the rough section right there. Downhill plus terrifying technical section. Yes, and you see this in the energy use along these nodes as well for how the rider moves. It's one recovery. The green stuff is, by the way, recovery. Regaining energy. And then you move here and bam! 4 energy use up from 0 for just 1 extra node. And that is because this here is the first node that is technical with this penalty, -5. And that means that the penalty will apply as soon as you include at least one of those nodes in traversed movement. So if I move here, I'm not actually traversing any nodes that have this penalty. I'm just landing on one. And if I move here, I'm traversing one node that has this big penalty of -5. So that is all about the terrain and just riding alone. But one of the most important things in cycling, of course, is slipstream. And that counts to the maximum here as well. Is super important. That is the way how you take care of not spending unnecessary resources. You just leech off the rear of someone's wheel. And that works really well here too. You need to ride along with another rider who is starting on the same node as you are, and you need to land on the same node as that rider. If you do so, then you will get the appropriate slipstream bonus that is being limited by the terrain, which can be seen down here. That's the first number is a bonus or penalty that is being flat added, and then the second number is the maximum that you can potentially get in that section. Slipstream goes up by increasing speed. If you ride slow, there's little slipstream. If you ride faster, there is more. And you will see that slipstream value down below, and you can also see it just in the energy use. For instance, here he's now going to speed up a little. You can see that if I choose to move alone, then my energy use here would be 1, 2, 3, 4 if I land here. But if I move one farther, I only pay 2, and that is because there's a slipstream bonus of 3. And as you can see, the missing value here, 3, 4, 6, 7 is the 5. So 5 minus 3 is 2. And that is where those technical sections and cobble sections are making things a little harder, but also mountain sections especially. They have terrifyingly bad slipstream penalties, and that means that even if you're moving fast, you are basically not gaining much advantage from the slipstream, through technical sections, through cobble sectors, and up the slopes. So that is where you can separate from other riders, where they don't have that advantage on you if you are trying to get away. And the final thing, there are for each rider different traits and specializations and attribute points. So we've already looked at energy per turn, attack per turn, and recovery. But each rider has different specializations. At level 11 out of 12, you will have a total of 4 specializations to have picked. And you can only do so in 3 different trees. There are 6 trees, and you can go up to 3 deep. The first level is basically just a little bonus, nice and not super impactful, but you will feel it. And then the higher up you go, the more specialized you are, and the more severe the penalties are as well. For instance, here getting a -1 in mountain is certainly not that great. -1 in cobble, not either, if you want to do those races. So yes, and then we have the attribute points, and you get 1 point to spend per level. But 1 point doesn't necessarily give you just 1 energy. It is, like, depending on where you are in the energy, it gives you, like, up to 10. Recovery is a special one, and we will see the nuances in the gameplay itself. I'm not going to go into that now, and I hope this is a super brief little summary of what the game is about. So you're doing the races and apply all those mechanics to that and try to win this stuff. There is more to it, of course, in sprinting and such, but we are going to see that live in action. It's much easier to follow along there when you have proper examples, and I will certainly explain why I'm doing things. Alright, now, let's get started. And here we find ourselves on the screen where we can do a little bit of theory crafting. And I think what I'm going to do here is first theory craft our jersey. Do we want to be starstruck racing once again, like in the release stream that I made? That was quite fun. I really like that jersey. But let's take a look at what else we could choose. There are other jerseys that can look quite neat. Quite like this one. I know though. I know what we're going for. For the greatness of the Archanan long gone empire, we are going to race in pure Archanan style like this. That is for the glory. But yes, so I'm now wanting to try and decide on what kind of goal we have with the leveling of our rider, so that we can already choose or make good decisions along the way to get there. So, for instance, one thing that I wanted to try out was a Tech Cobble plus Flat Rider. That's the most extreme penalty you can get in Mountain, but otherwise super powerful. Like, super powerful. As soon as he sees a mountain, he will die, but otherwise he's quite invincible almost. Well, not necessarily, but so that is a specialization that could be quite fun. If we didn't want to have any of those penalties, we can of course also go with something like this, but that is way less enticing for the bonuses that you're getting. If we want to win the Tour of Gasmea, though, what we need to consider is to have at least 2 in Mountain, and probably also some all-round stuff. So maybe we make an actual tour expert. That would also fit with Archanan. Not necessarily the mountain, but the time trial would. And what I like to do with a weak starting rider is to give him 1 time trial, because he gets a bit of a bonus to his attack stats right there. And let me show you how bad that rider will be. So this is probably the stats we're going for. And that is level 2, yeah. And then if we add a time trial, we get 5 extra attack. That might be a little OP. I need to recheck that. But like 3 or 4 would still be considered pretty good, I guess. But 5, yeah, definitely worth it. Worth getting. And if we are going to get the specialization of 2 time trial anyway, and Mountain 2, then maybe, yeah. Maybe that's the way to go. And I'm not certain if we want to go 2 time trial and 2 mountain, or maybe like 2 mountain, yes, is a given, but 1 time trial or 2 time trial, or choosing something else. We shall see about that. Anyway, but now the time has come, after this little bit of theory crafting and getting you up to speed with the game mechanics, that we are getting into career mode, and of course starting on difficult, on the hard difficulty. That is a bit more of a challenge than the others, especially in terms of progression. It's probably not that much harder at the moment in terms of AI, because the easy AI is actually quite capable, and the hard AI is very much limited by the same things as all the other AIs, and that is just some missing tools in the toolbox of that AI, while the fundamentals are rock solid. And yeah, we just need to hook in more behaviors. Just is of course in air quotes, big air quotes, but it's very much doable. Everything is set up to be compatible to that. Yes, hard difficulty. That means that we have a starting level of just 2 for our main rider. Our potential is 11, which is 1 below maximum, and that means that we will probably not get to that 4th specialization. And that is telling me that, yeah, we are going with a time trial and then 2 mountain, because otherwise we're not going to get there. This is super hard to reach if your potential is 11. Getting level 11, that will take a lot of seasons and a lot of success. We might be able to, regardless, but we shall see. Also, we're going to have to pay our rider the full salary instead of just 50% like the plebs do. And yeah, the AI is looking ahead as far as possible and is aggressive and is highly accurate. That means it has very little noise added to its decision-making heat map. Alright, looking good. Let's start our career. Now let's set up our team. Okay, there we go. I have even set it up such, even though it doesn't matter at all, so that we have all the colors of the flag. Archanan, for glory, old empire racing, and stereotypical name, of course, also from Archanan, Vladimir Antonov. Yes, very good. And we have set the time trial specialization as discussed before. That is our first specialization at level 2. We will get the second one at level 5, which we're going to put into mountain, and then the next one, the third one, at level 8, which we're also going to put into mountain. Alright, so now, this is our stats, 71 energy. That's not that much, but it's also, it is decent for amateur events. Good enough, especially when you're on a fitness peak and get some more, but we get to that in a little bit. Yes, attack 20 is quite good, especially at a speed of 6. That is strong for an amateur. He is pretty strong. Compared to a pro, yeah, not so much. That is looking pretty good, and then not so much. Also, you can see that because of our terrible recovery stat, we are slowing down a lot as we tire out and lose energy. That is an awful amount of slowdown. So better not lose any energy to start with. Yeah, that's not possible. So, okay, we are ready to set off. Let's start and generate the season. Every start of the season, of any season, all the tours and classics are randomly generated within certain archetypes. So the archetypes will be the same for the various stages in the calendar, the various races, but definitely not the contents of them. So that is cool. Yes, hello! Hello again. I expected you would go down that route sooner or later. That's not his voice, that's mine. Yes, so you're right. No one picked you up because you're a poor Archanan boy who just can time trial, and who wants that, right? There are so many Archanans that can do that. So, yeah, fuck off. And no, you don't get picked up, then just make your own team. Yes, let's do that. We start at the bottom of Amateur League, and we can now choose our races. Those that are red here, they are already 4. And if you want to have a little introduction into how to play career mode, then I would recommend watching that video on the Cyclist Tactics channel. I can link that below, by the way. That's a short introduction video to how to set up your first season. You will probably see that a little bit here too. But our calendar is looking pretty solid. You know what? Unfortunately, the sprints are full. That has a time trial right at the start, a prologue, and then it's mostly flat. So we would probably survive that and be able to score pretty highly, but that's full. And then we have the Montepirona event, which is having 2 pro teams race it. This is a mixed event. These events here, they are amateur events where only amateur teams are allowed to partake. So I think we're going with this. Oh, yeah. Okay, Weisshorn Challenge, actually not too terrifying. This one can get a lot worse when it comes to mountain races. Then we have the Rising Sun Rush, Hills of Vastuk, of course. Of course, we want to race close to home because that saves us money. And money is very valuable in Archanan. It is very valuable in Archanan. So let's see what more we can do here. Road to Novobeskov, of course, also a home race. Yes, we're going to bring glory to our Pyrrhic victory at Novobeskov. Let's not talk about that much more. But yes, Chrono. I think we have. There are just 5 teams signed up to this, but the 5 Mountains Clothing, rank 12. That is a very decent climber-focused ensemble of really good pros. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that then. I mean, should we try? Or should we go for the Alps? I mean, that one is terrifying. That one is outright terrifying. Has a time trial, but no, we can't possibly compete in a race like this with a rider like that. And of course, we are getting teammates. Don't forget that. But, and then we have a team time trial. Should we partake in that? There are 10 teams signed up to it, though, in total, with us. We could do that. I think that's a bit of almost... Yeah, I mean, if we come 10th, that also gives us some experience. And, of course, participation bonus of being in a mixed event and so on. So that might actually not be too terrible. And Lannan, the Lannan Grand Prix, is quite hard. So yeah, I think I'm going with this one. Yeah, that looks terrifying, though. And the Chrono. Potentially, we can get a top 10 in this as well. Yeah, there are not that many teams, so that would give us a decent amount of prestige. And we are all fighting for prestige. That is what is the main currency in Korea. So, the Chrono is looking like we can tackle that. But now, we need to stock up on riders. Who would be suitable for this kind of schedule? We do have a pretty fast rider, but he needs to be very well protected in normal stages. And then we have a decent amount of time trials going for it. So this is good stuff. But now, team list. So we do have David Perry. He's good. He's really good, and he's pretty cheap. He's a level 5 rider. And he has a specialization in flat as well as cobble tech. We do have Denis Tarasov down there, who's also a time trialist. If we wanted to, we could try to bring a time trial team to the team time trial event. Wouldn't that be a little fun? That's too far in the future. We need to grab as many points before then as possible. Pavel Gusev, he is really good at rouleur. If you've played the tutorials, then you will know how powerful he can be. He's really good. So, yeah, I think I take him on board. He's dirt cheap, too. I mean, he's a Archanan, so of course he is. But yes, he's good. And what more do we want? I think we need a good rouleur. But also someone for the climbs. And we only have Frank Albrecht. And he's a little weak, but do we have tours? Because he is pretty decent in recovery. Let's check it out. Well, not really. No, we're not doing tours, so he wouldn't be... we do one here. That's a 3-stage tour, but 3 stages is not too bad. If we were doing the Southern Alps, then 6 stages, yeah, you can really feel the effects of recovery already then. But so I don't think we really need him then. So yeah, let's try to skip that over. We do have Samuel Jenkins, and he is looking like could potentially be quite powerful. Let's turn on the stats for time trials and see how much he can pull in there, because he's quite fast. He has a lot of attack points, very, very important in time trials. So he does have no time trial penalty, and +1. Yeah, it's not great, but that's yeah, I guess that's fine. Justin Gray would be fantastic too, but I don't think we can afford all of them. Nah, he's very... Oh, sorry, this one. Yeah, that's already getting us pretty low. So maybe I can just get one more rider who's decent enough. Should we pick up Dennis then? I think that fits our general theme. So we have 2 TT experts, 1 rouleur, 1 sprinter. So Samuel Jenkins is trying to somehow get some of those sweet wins in the flat stages, but I think he will be mostly outdone by Pavel there. Although, no, not quite. But yeah, Pavel is really fast. And everyone has a good amount of attack points. That is really nice to see. And now what we need to do next is to actually plan out our season. And these are the races that we have lined up. So let's sign up everyone and then think about how we are distributing fitness peaks and such. So I'm going to start by just putting down 2 minor fitness peaks here. Let me show you what the fitness peaks do. So this is a minor fitness peak and this is a major fitness peak. As you can see here, the minor fitness peak is 1 month of bonus there, a smaller bonus, and then 1 month of penalty. The larger fitness peak is 1 month of bonus there. Then for the main month, it is a double bonus, and then another penalty right after. So we can place a minor and a major one for each season. And we need to do so for every rider. Now we need to find out where it's best to place them. I think for our main character rider here, I'm going to bet on getting a pretty good result in fast road deliveries. They have some really strong time trial riders though. Oh, yeah. And Channel 69 Cycling, nice. But also, I think they have a few time trial riders there. Alright, I think we can do it like this. So we do have Pavel lined up for the first event. And then 3 of our team members for that... Oh, that's a bit of a gamble. I'm going for it. We do have a decent amount of attack points for being such a low-level team. With that being said, I think we are all done here. We still have too much money over, though. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to switch out Samuel Jenkins versus Justin Gray. Everything set up? Yes, indeed it is. We still have a bit of a balance left over. Let's check it out. We are getting a -12 to the prestige requirement of our sponsor because we are slightly under budget, which is nice. So, cool. Everything is set up now. Let's see if the actual targets are optimal. We can change this with the focus here. Let's see if we get a better match to what we have chosen. This one not looking too great. I would like to have it on the arrow, for instance. There we have something on the international. And we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, where this is a major one. That hurts a bit, but yeah, I think that's a reasonable choice. So let's go with this. And we are all ready. Let's start our season. There we go. Old Empire Racing, February. Let's roll. One thing to remember is that Pavel Gusev and Vladimir Antonov, that is us. We have our fitness peak here. And Dennis is looking like he is going to be our little workhorse. But first we need to get through some of those simulated races. Desert Sprint. Oh, such a long stage as well. Mass Sprint finish, and Julien Aubert is taking it. Yes, okay. Hagenberg round. That is a terrifying stage. Holy. All right. Ryan Parker was the favorite, but no. No, that didn't pan out for him. Montepiona, and there we have a bit of a smaller group finish. All right, and Besara Sprints, the one that was blocked from us, where we could have competed. Fast Road Deliveries is in that. Yeah, they look at how they are dominating the field. They came first and second, and they are grabbing 461 prestige points compared to the sub 100 of every other team, and 2 zeros in there. Poor bastards. Yep, Rolling Hills race, here we come. That is ours. And we have... Oh, shit. Billy King is here. Billy Bastard King. We have a level 9 rider as well. He is going to be Manuel Gomez here. Yeah, he's going to be terrifying as well. He's well-rounded. He's a really good rider. But he has level 3 flat. There are a few mountains in here, or hills, that is not in his favor, but still, flat 3. Ouch. Old Empire Racing will have a tough challenge at their hands, and now let's get into it. Vladimir Antonov, looking good. He has a bit of a bonus there to his energy and attack for the fitness, minor fitness peak, and he is going to stay behind a little bit. We said Dennis is going to be our workhorse. He is not really suitable to an attack because he's lacking, in general, just energy for it. Doesn't have necessarily the best of stats for this parkour either. There are quite a few jumps here, big jumps that need to be made to avoid the bad terrain. That, of course, simulates that you ride across difficult terrain with more effort. And that is simulated by those making those bigger jumps. Works out pretty well, even though it looks weird to jump over a mountain at high speed. But the effect, the outcome of it, is the same as in real life. You spend a lot of resources to get over those hills. So, Denis Tarasov, yes, how about you don't go on the attack, but rather you stay pretty close at the front here, just while Justin and Pavel are going back a little and hide in the slipstream of the peloton. There goes the first attack. We would be able to follow that, but how about no on this one? I don't think they are too strong. Ooh. Yeah, they would be so strong that we don't have a chance against them. At least 2 of them. So yeah, let's just follow the peloton, play it safe, and that also means this is going to be pretty quick. I'm going to set my 3 riders here into rest mode, which means they will fall back to P3 and have the best slipstream possible and just follow along, while I leave Dennis sitting in P2, where I can just confirm the move and just keep track of what is going on. So here we go. Yeah, the escapees are hauling ass, and the peloton has settled with this escape going. 4 riders. Stefan Schmidt also joined them. He is not too great a rider. Let's, if you press spacebar, you can see who they are in terms of specialization. You see the name change to the specialization. So, Climber 4, Rouleur 5, and Rouleur 3. I think this is a good bunch. They will have a bit of a chance there, but the peloton will roll over them in the end. I'm pretty sure. So, let's just follow along here. Ah, okay. Yeah, I was wondering why the peloton was doing such a harsh jump of like 20 nodes. That was quickly raced. That is because they wanted to reach this node. The look ahead was going like, yeah, okay, we can take this jump from like here, over here somewhere, to there, which is a much better field to land on because of the free movement, in either 2 or 3 moves. What is better, considering the distance to the escapees? Well, doing it in 2. That's why they're going with 2 moves of pretty good speed, which is rather efficient. And doesn't cost us too much either, because there's so much slipstream in the peloton. Okay, I think I disagree with that move, but now I need to figure out what I want to do with that, because falling behind here is dangerous. So let's see. If we go, instead of following the peloton in a 7-3 move, if we see here, that would cost us, our other riders, full energy and 2, 1 and 2 attack, and they would get 2 slipstream. And the next move would probably be to here. So if we go for the preview of that next move, that would be another 5 energy. So overall, a little inefficient, I would say. So what happens if we instead land here? That is a 7-4, but in one move. And Dennis could do that move. Of course, the question is, does Justin Gray like that or not? Does he have a choice? Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to turn off the auto rest mode and now have Dennis just move there and the other riders follow. There, there, and there. So we are now off the rear end of the peloton. Dennis is leading out and everyone else is staying on. And now we're going to jump that hill. Oh, they are moving a little farther. Someone jumped there. Okay. Now we're going to jump that hill. We could go all the distance, but I don't want to. And we are getting, 4 out of 6. So, yeah, overall, this is conserving quite a bit of energy, but it is taking a few more attack points, which I believe is fine. It's a good compromise. So let's go there. We still have to catch the peloton, though. We're right behind it. Yeah, this is a very easy move. Look at that. There was someone else who landed there, of course, and he has pulled into the peloton, which gives us 7 slipstream. So we are not even paying anything for getting into the peloton. So I think overall this was a really good move. He saved, I think, 4 or 5 energy for paying 1 or 2 attack more. So that is fine. For the next hill, they are a little better positioned at the bottom there, so I'm not fearing that they will do anything weird here. They should be just jumping over it like the escapees do. Ouch! Okay, this was a little harder than expected though. That's a 7-3 move, but here we don't have a choice, we need to follow. It is the final hill that is coming up, so we're currently here. I think the peloton will easily move to the bottom of the slope here, even though this is a technical section. It's not too bad as a technical section, it's the free roughness technical sections, but that means that back in the peloton here we will get another additional penalty, which is not nice. Yeah, I can't avoid that right now. But then we have this hill, easily jumpable from there, and then it's flattened downhill without any obstacle apart from this minor technical section, this mild technical section right there, and the flat +3. That will severely limit slipstream. So that's something to watch out for right before the finish. So what I'm going to bank on is that we will be able to get further forward on this next move. So let's see what they do. Yes, okay, they're moving to the bottom of the slope. This is an easy move, doesn't take a lot of energy. So we have plenty of energy to reposition and move up in the peloton, which costs 2 energy to move up. You get back 1 when you go down 1 step. So yes, up 1, and there's Dennis. He only has 38 energy left. He has been quite hammered there. Although it's perfectly fine for what is remaining of the stage. We have been riding really well, conservatively. So there we go. Everyone is moving up 1 step. Oh shit, here we go. Yeah, okay, the peloton's going there. But attacks are actually going right now. They are already attacking. And well, it's not the best of riders. He still has plenty of power in him, though. And he's a flat rider. He might be a little dangerous. Don't know how many guys will follow him. I think the answer is none. You know what? I think Dennis should join them just in case. To chase those down. These guys are still up front. They're very low on resources, but they are also very close to the finish. So none of the others can follow this move because the peloton is deciding to move here. But that move doesn't require any attack. So we can continue to move up. So that means we will be in P1 from where we can act and actually do attack and whatnot and follow any other move that comes from the favorites. So what I'm going to do with Dennis is actually follow this little escape that is going. He does have a decent amount of resources remaining and this might be an opportunity. So let's take that one on. And yes, there we go. we can move there easily. Now let's see what happens. He is starting to pull. That is good news. And then we have one in downhill. It's also good news. He's on my wheel. Is he dangerous? I don't think he is necessarily, because he's quite slow. And he doesn't have any bonus in the terrain that is up. So I'm going to say that Andrew Powell is going to be doomed. And we are fighting it out with Gabriele Costa. And yeah, let's join the... Should we? No, let's stay there. Let's play it a little cautiously. Now the leaders are coming forward, though. That will be a slugfest once they all arrive. Vladimir Antonov, here we go. There you go, mate. Just in grey, just in time. Getting to the front. These guys are just going. Are they going to win? Do we have enough to pull through here? I mean, we only have resources to do 2 full turns of movement. So if we get to this one, then we would be getting to here, and then we can only move to here, and then we cannot quite finish. Yeah, I don't know if that is a good move. Because the peloton will land here, so maybe we just call it off. Or why not chance it, right? Let's go hard with him. Let's go super hard. The other guy is joining me there. Oh yes, the peloton is pulling hard. I think Dennis is doomed, but this is a one-stage race, so let's not overemphasize that we fucked up. Yeah, okay. Peloton is moving there. They are preparing for a nasty fast dash to the line. I don't know if these guys can hold out, because this is going to be super fast now. I'm going to... I can't go to the back, because that was a max move. Yeah. Alright, we are well positioned here, though. There are all the other leaders. They are now coming forward. Now they are preparing their move. And, oh, look at that. We're getting close to them. Let's move max distance. I think they are going to absolutely... They're not. They're actually not absolutely nuking it. Maybe they are seeing that these guys are a little on the weak side. So is this another opportunity? Well, he's empty. I'm empty. Almost. And these guys are rather spent as well. We could go into this terrible terrain here, but that is a difference of 14 to 7, so a difference of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So being there is basically the same as being there. Yeah. I think I choose the recovery move in that instance. Okay, and now we need to choose where we want to go in terms of positioning for the final sprint. Because we need to... Yeah, I think that... Oh, these riders are awfully low. There are not that many who can pull hard now. Justin Gray is getting very low on attack. Almost empty in terms of not being able to spend a full move of attack points. Just one extra attack. That is not going to be enough, I believe. The peloton has not quite started the position battle. Oh, these guys are almost finished. How much does he have left? I think he will win. Maybe they slowed down because they saw that he will win. Okay, well, now is the time to act. Go. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a big move by the peloton. I think he will win, but these guys are doomed. So, yes, Lone SKP wins with a fabulous move there towards the end, but everyone else gets absolutely nuked by the peloton. Let's see if we can follow. Oh. And now they've moved even farther. Woo! Okay. Yeah, we can catch up if we want to. That is... Huh. That's a big move. Justin Gray can go there if he wants to. Do we want to? I think with the finish, they being that close, I think that's a yes. And everyone, that's probably a yes. Yeah, look at that. The group of favorites just split off from the peloton. Now everyone is going, so that was a good choice. There is a decent lead out in this group. 7-7 but limited to 6 because he only has 6 attack points left. But a +1, so he has a +14 in movement. Add that to the 12 that he gets for free. So that is a 26 move at maximum. That is a long distance. That's a really long distance. We can't get past that guy if he goes all out, which I assume he will. And that's a good lead out. Then we have this guy right behind. He will be able to follow, but not add much velocity in the sprint. Matteo Testa is pretty much fucked here. He won't be able to follow, I think. Yeah, no chance. Then Justin Gray will be able to follow, but not add much. Vladimir Antonov, probably the same there. He has -1 in sprint too. But maybe that's fine for Pavel. Yeah, let's see what happens. I think this setup is decent, but now these guys will be trying to reposition themselves to get on the optimal wheel for what they think is going to be the perfect position for the sprint. So, sign is off, and we shall see how this goes. He gets across the line. Oh, that was so close. He made it by 0.05 turns. All right, there's some momentum block, some velocity blocking going on here. We are now in the sprint itself. And these guys are already across the line. It was a move of 25. So he could have gone one farther, I believe. So yes, we are going to follow along. We can only spend 3 points there. We are in... That puts us in third. Justin Gray is now in third there for the time being. Yes, so let's move here with... Vladimir Antonov looks like... he doesn't have enough sprint. He can't spend that many points. 5, he can also move up 3. Oh, yeah, that's looking good. Come on. Just get stacking. Oh, no. Oh, those bastards were actually moving in front of Pavel. Yeah, that doesn't help. That doesn't help our cause. But I think we are pretty well positioned here overall. So, yeah, he can get there, but Vladimir Antonov is allowed to win that. Moving one up doesn't help anyone. Let's see how many others are going to get past us. I believe there are plenty. Currently, we are in 4th, 5th, and 6th, which would be a fantastic result. And now, let's see what the AI does here with the sprinters back there. I think we're going to get nuked. And across the line comes our straggler. And now it is all done. Let's see where we ended up. Yeah, not quite as good, but still very, very decent result. That is superb, actually. So 4th, 6th, and 8th. That is solid. Yeah, I'm really happy about 4th there. It's great stuff. But also Vladimir, in his first race, that's our character, getting a 6th place. That will give him quite some experience. Very solid result, and also something that I think is pointing towards a balancing flaw that I have put into the game, which is very easy to remedy. That is that only really the highest result should count towards the sponsor prestige goal, while of course the overall result that you get should count towards your season rankings. So that will put a little bit of a damper on there if you don't want to stack the top 10 necessarily. You can't please your sponsor by that, even though it makes for good finishing photos with several of your jerseys on there. Yeah, that was solid. 80 points there and 160 points for the league. And with that, we have arrived in March. Ooh. Time trial time, but that is for the upcoming episode. And I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.